Hey, what's up, guys? I'm just doing this quick video here because I was reading through some of my comments on one of my videos for the build of this 3.0, and the subscriber's name, I'm going to give a little shout out here because he asked a very good question, something that I didn't even cover, and I thought it deserved a little bit of credit. Gregory Mayer had asked me what I use and what method I use for the screws that you have to Loctite in, like anything that makes metal-to-metal contact, like your engine mounts, probably your steering post mounts, just any screw that's going to go into metal. The kits always do come with thread locker, and it's usually the red, and that's really high strength. It's one step down from like that yellow stuff, and man, that stuff is so strong. And I learned a long time ago. I used this on one of my kits, and I had a hell of a time getting the screws out. You just have to be, I mean, some people do like to use it, but you just have to be really careful with your application on the screw, because, I mean, just the tiniest little bit really locks the screw in there. And when you're at a race, the last thing you're going to want to do, because you don't have a lot of time between qualifying rounds, you know, or from your qualifier to your mains, and if you get stuck where you got to get your engine out or anything, and you're stuck drilling out a screw or heating it up, I mean, and that's just going to ruin your day. So anyway, what I use is medium strength blue thread locker. This happens to be Permatex. Really doesn't matter. All the blue is medium strength. And you can be a little more sparing with it. You just don't have to be as careful with it. And you can pretty much, as long as you don't goop it on like crazy, you're going to be able to get it out. The other thing that he had asked me was what I use, like, do I clean my screws off before I put them in with the Loctite? And yes, I do. I was going to show you guys what I use. I just don't have it. It's the non-chlorinated brake clean. I don't like to use chlorinated because that'll really dry out any plastic it might get on. So I stay away from that. And so you just want to use any type of non-chlorinated brake cleaner, or you can use acetone or anything that's going to degrease it. I just prefer the brake cleaner because it dries really, really fast, and you get a high pressure shot of it on the screw. So once that dries, you know, I usually lay the screw down on like a paper plate or something, and then I'll just make a small dab, like a little puddle on the plate, and then use like a toothpick to just get some on the toothpick and spread it on the threads. Or you can just like really carefully, and you gotta really be careful, and dip the screw, the very end of the screw in, and then the Loctite, you'll just see it kind of like coat the first couple of threads, and that's probably a little too much. I mean, you just want a little bit on there, just enough to where the heat and the vibration from the engine or whatever isn't going to back the screw out. And then you should be fine, especially with the blue. You can usually get that out with without any heat or anything, as long as you don't go too crazy with it. Other than that, I really don't have much. Another subscriber, I think it was Mickey Thomas, had asked me if when my break-in videos are coming up, and it is, I live in Michigan and it's really cold out, which the weather like that wouldn't affect the engine the way I heat them up and stuff. It's just me. I don't want to freeze out there. And the break-in process, I mean, I'll probably go at it 2 hours a day, or just until I feel that it's done. It's really hard for me to explain until I'm doing it. So you guys just stay tuned for that. I promise it's coming up. It's just going to have to be when the weather breaks, because unfortunately we're dealing with seasonal weather here in Michigan. We don't have warm weather all the way around, which I'd like. Other than that, the only thing I really got done on this is, since the last video was actually nothing, but I got the bag here of the clutch. I'm probably be putting that together soon. The only other thing I did is clean up my pipes. I polished them just with any type of chrome polish you can use, or aluminum polish. And actually what I do is kind of wet sand them with a really super fine grit. I think like 1500 grit sandpaper, and then you can use the polish, and it helps it. It gets the crud off, and you know, makes them look pretty, I guess. I wish every pipe was kind of really hard coated. I'm not a big fan of the polished pipes. They're just so high maintenance, you know, but they look like crap when they get crudded up, so you got no choice but to polish them up. Anyways, guys, that's about all I really have for you tonight. I just thought that would be a good thing that I missed, and I'm glad Gregory had brought that up to my attention, because I never really thought twice about it. So that's just a quick tip for you guys if anybody was wondering. Other than that, that's about it, guys. So I hope everybody has a good night and likes this video. Tell your friends, subscribe, all that good stuff. Yeah, you guys have a real good night. Thanks again for watching, and we'll talk to you guys real soon. Thanks.